Hi, my name is Dr. Katrin Meidell, and I am the Viola professor at the Schwab School of Music at Columbus State University here in Columbus, Georgia. I'm here today to give a tutorial and then to perform the middle school Etude for 2021. So this is the Wohlfahrt Foundational Studies for the Viola, the Carl Fischer, Rachel Barton Pine edition, book 2, number 27. And so they've asked us to do this at quarter note equals 74. So there are a couple of things that I just wanted to talk about before I go ahead and perform the Etude for you. The first thing is where the grace notes fit in the measure. And it can be kind of confusing when you have all those notes there on the page. So what I encourage you to do is actually to take the grace notes out and figure out what the rhythm is without the grace notes. And then what you want is for the grace notes to fit in before the note that they're written before. So if I were to take out the grace notes, it would sound like. So if I do that one more time, I'm going to bounce a little bit so you can really see where the beats are. And then if I add in the grace notes, I want them to come right before the bounce. So that gives you an understanding of where those grace notes fit. Other thing I wanted to encourage you to do is to be subdividing before you start playing so you can really feel the smaller rhythm, because if you're just counting in 4, it's easy to get confused, especially when we end up having 16th notes and grace notes and all that stuff. So what I'd really be encouraging you to do is be thinking the 8th note. Bum, 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 bum. And you don't even need to be thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and. I find numbers can get confusing and you get stuck on like which number you're on. So I would rather just have you be thinking a regular rhythm. So ta, 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 or bum, bum, bum. So in my mind, I'm thinking bum, 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 bum. And hopefully you could sort of hear that subdivision going as I played. Another thing I want you to think about is the bow distribution. So in the middle of the second line, we have a pretty fancy thing that you can do that I think will help you play all the 16th notes that are at the end of the second line. So if I start in the second measure of the second line, notice how I'm using my bow. So instead of using the whole bow the entire time, I'm going to distribute my bow differently. So what I'm doing is I'm saving bow on the E. So when I finish, I'm at the absolute tip, and then I start with a slower bow, and then I use a lot of bow. And that gives me a really nice phrase there, so I'll do that in the context. That's a lot more comfortable than if you use your entire bow for all of the notes because it's really easy to run out of bow. And that might sound something like. And obviously that's something that we want to avoid. So if you can have savvy bow distribution in that spot and the like place that's towards the end, that would really help you out. One other thing that I wanted you to think about are the rests, and that in the rests you can move your bow. So at the end of the first line, if I stop my bow here and just try to keep playing, I have no bow. So I want to actually lift and reset. So that is a really great habit to get into. If you see a rest and you already know what's happening later, you can plan out where you're going to start with your bow. I wanted to give you a pointer in the 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 5th line, we have a 5th. So this is the 5th line. Right here. And that's hard. That 4/4 is hard. So what I'm doing, rather than jumping my finger over the string, lifting and jumping, I'm actually rolling with my elbow. So I'll really exaggerate this so you can really see it. And that gives me a really smooth note transition. So it sounds clean. If I don't do that, I get sort of a jump. And actually that one worked out pretty well, but usually it doesn't. So, so if you can learn to roll for your 5th, that will make that a cleaner transition right there. And then the final piece of advice I wanted to give you is in the 2nd to last line, we have this really tricky shift. This is the 2nd to last measure of the 2nd to last line, where we have, it's a teeny tiny little shift, but if you don't shift, you're gonna get yourself into trouble. So if I'm playing in, I end up on my B and I need to go to a C, so I'm actually moving my entire hand. Because if I only move my finger, while I can play the right note here, I can't reach the next note. So it's really important that you actually do a shift. Otherwise you end up with a, and everything gets out of tune and wonky. So when shifting, make sure that your entire arm moves. So if I'll show you from the back side here. So you can see my entire arm is moving, including the thumb. And that's going to give you a nice clean shift there. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email and I will try to answer it. But now, please enjoy my performance of the Etude number 27.